already open anyway.
Hello, welcome back to Automotive Tales. On today's episode, we're doing the Great Big Car Delivery Day. Have I?
Yeah.
Where's the battery? I don't know where it is. Oh, it's in my shed. I think the answer to that is it isn't going to start.
No.
This is going on a flatbed because reasons. We broke it.
Yeah.
Well, it won't start.
It definitely won't start today.
So we've first hurdle. Right, I'm going to turn the camera off and actually do something useful. Vital first job for any trip. Wash your fluid at this time of year. Right, so you have seen the chaos that the day started with. We are here for the big move. So we're moving 4 cars today because that's a typical problem of an idiot that keeps buying cars. Although the first idiot is this one.
Hi.
So as you'll have probably just seen, we're moving Martin's taxi. Now, I haven't actually explained an awful lot on the channel about why there's a taxi. There was a plan, then there was COVID,
Yes.
and then there was a broken down taxi. So I have got some videos we filmed little bits as the taxi arrived and we did some stuff on it.
Yeah.
So I might insert that in here somewhere. So as you can see, I'm in the car. I'm making a trip to the Automotive Tale studio. I've had a phone call from Martin telling me he's got a surprise, something to do with our road trip videos. Bit cryptic, so let's see what it's all about. Okay, so we are here. Let's see. Martin's bought a taxi. So, because we can, let's see how a London Taxi TX2 cold starts after about 3 weeks sitting in the yard. Ugh. So, ignition on. We'll just go for another cycle on the glow plugs. Here goes. Look at that. It's alive. A bit of an update on the London taxi, the LTI TXII that we bought for doing some road trips in. So when we acquired the taxi, it had an MOT, but it had been bought for doing a banger rally across Europe in 2020, which was obviously never going to happen. So it had been sat for sort of 6 months. It needed a little bit of reconditioning. The first bit of that was a seized front brake caliper. Here you go, Martin. That's what it should do. So we've addressed a few issues before getting it over to a friendly mechanic to get it up on the ramps and have a look. So we swapped the front brake caliper out to allow the vehicle to actually roll nicely on the road and safely, which was surprisingly easy. Replacement 4-pot caliper for the front right hand side of a TX2 cost us the pricey sum of £15. So we swapped that out. We need to replace some indicator lenses that were all of £6 or £7. And we were getting ready to take it through to the mechanic when some blithering idiot managed to lose the only single key we had for the cab. So a few more months of delay ensued while between various stages of lockdown we were able to get a locksmith out to replace the key and the code that goes with it. So the TX2 that we've got is more of a TX2.5, TX3, has got the transit engine, but it's got an LDV key system mated to a Ford Mondeo transponder and ECU unit, so a real hodgepodge of parts. But eventually we found somebody that reckoned they could replace the key and replace the transponder and all the stuff that goes with it. So we got some locks, replaced the locks, they came and did the transponder bit. So we finally got the taxi back up and running. And over to the friendly mechanics, mainly to look at potential wheel bearing that felt like it was going, and also a bit of a transmission fluid leak. Turned out it was a pretty hefty transmission fluid leak. On the drive over to see the friendly mechanic, it consumed about 1 litre of transmission fluid. We got it up on the ramps, and the diagnosis, terminal. It appears to have fairly terminal rust on the chassis and the body. Now the body isn't so bad because it's a body on frame, so if the body's a bit rotten, as long as the frame's solid, it's good. But in this case, neither is any good. There's a number of brake lines that need addressing. It needs 3 wheel bearings doing. The differential is worn out. There's a lot of slop in the rear axle, so the bushes in the rear axle are gone. And it's got an Exxon Valdez scale of fluid leak from the gearbox. So we have terminated the life of said taxi. So the obvious man-math solution to this is to buy another cheap taxi. What can possibly go wrong, right?
A resident owners, viewers of your Twitter page may have noticed that you did post a couple of months ago about a taxi in the back of a lorry
being scrapped.
Which
isn't this one.
No, this is another one because I was stupid enough to do it twice.
Yes, this is taxi take 2. Today we're going to see if we can cold start this LTI TX4, so 56, so 2006 taxi. Let's see how she goes. Wait for the coils to warm. Okay, here goes. That first try. And eventually do a light one. Sat for a few weeks, but started on the button. So the TX4 doesn't have the transit engine. It's actually got a Chrysler unit, I believe. So this particular one is a baby at 490,201 miles. So just short of 500,000 miles. And runs like a dream. Standard LTI interior, all very basic. Right, okay, so that's the first car. Big move day. Second car is a very, very rare car. It's a yellow Volvo 850 T5R, no less. An estate as well, so 855, if you will, in proper Volvo parlance.
That's insane that you get to see one of those today. That must be really impressive.
Sadly, not one of my cars. It's been stored at our workshop. It is going home for some fettling and to be recommissioned to put back on the road.
Nice.
And then, car number 3. Can you guess what car number 3 is going to be?
Oh gosh, something more common. Maybe a Vauxhall Corsa.
No, it is a yellow Volvo 850 T5R.
Incredible.
And you did hear that right. So we're dropping one Volvo 850 T5R off, and then we're going to collect a different one and bring that back to the workshop. So I do actually have one, part of the Automotive Tales fleet. It has been stored up in Yorkshire for quite a long time, far too long indeed.
There's a van behind us.
There is a van behind us. That means the taxi's arrived. And then once that comes back to the workshop, and we'll do some content on that shortly, we're going to go move the Fiat 850. So it's a very 850 day.
Lovely, yes.
Right, we're going to have to go because the taxi has arrived.
It's taxi time.
Woohoo! Ta-da! Taxi is here, back at the workshop, so hopefully we can start digging into this, find out what the heck is going on. And Neil is now here with the next load. Look at that. I mean, you can barely see it because of the sun, but one yellow T5R. Heading off back home. here for car 3 of the day. This is the important one. So this is what's coming to my workshop, and is the precious. Are you ready? Are you ready? Yeah, that would be another yellow T5R. Dead common, these things. So this is my car. As you can see, it has been sat here a while. Unfortunately, it was parked here temporarily, and then COVID hit, and the person whose house is storing it was self-isolating. But now we're here to pick the vehicle up, get it back home, and, well, clean it. That's going to be really satisfying. I'm not going to start it today. We're gonna drag it onto the tow truck because it's been sat for so long. We're going to do a few remedial items on it before we try and get it started, and then clean it. We'll do a proper walk around at some point. I haven't really got time today because the wagon is already here. It beat us almost up the motorway. So we're going to get it loaded on, and then next time you see this will probably be in another video when we start to do a bit of a walk around. But just quickly, while we wait for the wagon to come around the corner, look at that steering wheel. Love this thing. Love it so much. Just a shame it makes me want to cry, to wince seeing it like this. So sad. Up we go. There we go, 4th and final car loaded. So this is our pretty little Fiat 850. It's going off for a little bit of work again, as usual, and it's going to storage with Henry. And you can see the other 850 over here. There she is. Slight crisis averted with a bit of leaking fuel, which might be part of the problem, but she's all ready to go. So next stop, Henry's. A lovely chap called Karim there is going to do some work on her, change the fuel tank, which is what I avoided doing over the summer because I was lazy. And yeah, we'll have her back on the road. Hopefully we'll get her out in spring and she'll be all up and running and nice and clean and shiny. So that's the end of the big move day. Thank you very much, gents, for all your help. Sorry for blinding with the light. And that's it, job done. Okay, well, that is it for this episode of Automotive Tales. I hope you've enjoyed the video of our big move, and hopefully this means we're going to get on to some new projects. So one extra thing we did do after the Fiat went off to its new home, we managed to bring the 944 over and tuck it into the garage where the Fiat's come from. That means it's time to start finally working on the 944 and do things like the brake lines, the drive shafts, which are sitting in a box you can't see here, and some engine mounts, which are sitting on the table right behind the camera there. So hopefully a successful couple of months ahead in getting the 944 done and back on the road. And as you'll have just seen, we've done some work on the 850. A little bit more on that, and then we can get on to the yellow 850, which is the all-important, the T5R. So stay tuned to Automotive Tales, and we'll see you next time. Bye for now. Hopefully this video hasn't sent you a little bit crazy, because this has turned out to be very wobbly.
Ooh, wobbly.
Wobbly.